Hello, welcome to the latest edition of Last Bowl Boxing. We're back. We've had a bit of a siesta for a few weeks, but we're now back and refreshed. So there's gonna be a lot of content coming out over the next couple of weeks. Joined by regular Sean. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, we've got a lot to cover. We're going to do a series of videos. We're going to do it in chronological order, which means date order, Sean. I'll help you out with that one. So we're going to start with Moses Itauma against Jermaine Franklin. Happened in Manchester, 28th of March. I think we predicted this one. I'm surprised it went 5 rounds, but did we learn anything new? Over to you, Sean. Give us your thoughts. And matchmaking must be a nightmare for this guy.
Yeah, I think it went 99% of how we all predicted. I think, didn't we? As you say, maybe not the 5 rounds. I think that they do need to get him some decent rounds in before they step him up. I know they were speaking about the Caballeros of this world. I would still tread a bit more carefully with him. I mean, I know he looks like an absolute monster, knockout machine. All the cliches you want to throw in, it's true. But I still think fundamentally he needs a few decent tests before we see him sort of in for a world title.
Yeah, I thought Franklin was game on Ted, but let's be honest, he was never in the fight, was there? But when you say about getting this guy round, Sean, it's a difficult one because you don't want to throw him in the deep end too quick because there's no way back. And I'm not sure there's that middle of the road fighter who's going to be durable. Ergovic, maybe. But if he beats Dave, he's not going to want to jump in with Itauma. And I bet a lot of fighters have priced themselves out of this fight. But give me a few names then, Sean. Who you think is going to get 8-9 rounds out of?
One who I do actually think will is Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, inactive though.
Yeah, but you know, I think he was fairly inactive when he fought AJ, and look what he done. So I think that's maybe just his style.
Is Warren going to pay the dollar to get him over here though? Or did Itauma go over to the States?
I don't think it would hurt for him to go over to the States, to be honest. He'll obviously build his profile over there. DAZN's massive in America, aren't they? So that's not a bad shout at all.
He's going to pick his strap up sooner or later, though, isn't he? Because, you know, I think they're going to fragment. If you were to throw Itauma in with Fabio Wardley at the minute, who wins?
Itauma.
Think so.
Yeah.
So, quite a lot of facets to this, though, because Tyson Fury's chasing the strap as well, isn't he? So, obviously, the money fight would be Fury. So, if obviously he's got a fight to win first against Dubois. Dubois' another name, right? Should he get beat by Wardley, he may have to jump in with an Itauma to get back up the tree, heavyweight tree.
Yeah, I think in all likelihood, if Dubois beats Wardley, I think we could probably see that fight next. I think they were rumoured to fight each other not long ago, wasn't they? Those two. So that's a very good fight, I would say.
It's interesting because I think Wardley goes longer than Dubois does with Itauma because you can break Dubois' arc, can't you?
Mm.
So
yeah. The other one potentially that may give him a few rounds, depending on how motivated he is Zhilei Zhang.
Yeah, he's only getting older though, isn't he? But it depends. I mean, again, it's going to cost a pretty penny to get him over from China, isn't it? But I think Frank's got to do something somewhere because this sounds ridiculous. I've been getting pelted for it online, but I'm going to say it. He only gets so long with the British boxing public, don't he, to keep having these sort of fights if it's deemed as of a higher level. Sooner or later, they're going to start calling him out that they want him to be in a real test.
Yeah. Do you think as well with Itauma, one thing that maybe goes against him is his sort of personality, and he needs to come out of his shell a bit more to get more people on side?
Yeah, maybe. One name that I would throw in there, a lot of politics involved, is Yuri Fiore.
Yeah, that's again not a bad shout at all. It's probably easy to make, in all honesty. I think he's a boxer, isn't he? But maybe on a Riyadh show or something like that, we could see that happen.
Struggling to get fights, Yuri Fiore is always been durable. We don't really know what he's got left in in the high echelons of boxing, but at least there's that bit of mystique there for us boxing fans, isn't there? If them two words fight, there'll be a lot of debate. Oh, what's Huey got left? You know, is he gonna? What's gonna happen with Itauma if Huey cracks him on the chin, etc., etc. So, did you learn anything new in this fight, then, Sean, or not? Because I didn't.
No, me either.
If we sit in 12 months' time, has Itauma got a strap round his waist?
Probably because what's going to happen with the rest of the belts Usyk's got, I would say so.
Yeah, interesting. That'll be interesting to see who fights for that belt as well. Okay, that's all things Moses Itauma. Like, comment, subscribe. This has been Last Bell Boxing, proudly sponsored by Sean Building Service and SC Travel. We will see you on the next video. Thank you very much, Sean. Adios.